Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope everyone's having a phenomenal Sunday. Thank you so much for joining. Today, we're going to be talking about Tesla, why the market has been pulling back, and what we should expect both on the technical side and on the fundamental side. So, anyway, just join along for the ride. We're jumping here on Thinkorswim 180-day chart, 4 hours per candle. And so, what's going on? So, for the past 180 days, we've had the SMA line, which is this line I have highlighted at the moment, acting as a nice support for the price. It keeps pushing, and every time that the price bounced, it has been going up. So as we can see, once, twice, three times, four times, yada, 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 yada. It keeps going on. And so recently, we just broke below the SMA line with so much ease. As we can see, it bounced maybe for a day or two, and then bang, it just broke hard. So what is happening? On a technical point of view, we drop below our standpoint. So if I was to be invested into this company, I would totally be looking for the SMA as a nice stop loss. In case the price does dip below it, that would be my exit strategy. I am a short-term swing trader, and so therefore I'm not holding for huge amounts of time, and so therefore these things matter a lot to me. Since the price has broken down and it reaffirmed itself below it, stop loss has to hit, and then you wait until the next buying opportunity. When is that opportunity? Based on technicals. So we're just going to talk about technicals right now. As we have a previous high, as we can see here, or when the market exactly hit a 5-to-1 split, which was about 530 some dollars. We are close to that price. Actually, Tesla did reach that right there at 545, and so the price did dip there. Is that gonna hold it? Is this trend line gonna hold Tesla? It could not. So what am I going to do to prepare myself? Well, if the price does indeed stabilize itself there, therefore I can add my position and now use this trend line as a nice stop loss place. I do want to have an exit strategy every time I make to a decision because the market's very volatile and we have to have a good plan. We don't want to be betting on this all the time. We want to be smart investors and profit on the way. So there's a few things looking for this. We could see a sell-off still, or we could see the price bounce at this price line. If it does, then I will add to my position. If it doesn't, I'll just wait to sell off. A great example is oil. When oil was dipping as the pandemic hit, a lot of my friends were saying, oh man, it's so low right now, it can never go lower. Well, it went to negative $37. So who would have expected that? So we don't know when the bottom of the dip is, but we can prepare ourselves and make sure and try to recognize signs of this dip, of this absolute bottom, because we want to buy it at a good deal. We don't want to jump the gun. We have time. Patience is on our side. So therefore, on the technical point of view, we have, I'll just zoom in here. We're below the EMA line. That's a negative sign. We are below the SMA line. That's a negative sign. RSI is on oversold, so that's a good sign. And the MACD is more or less trying to have the blue line cross the beige line. I would say it's a neutral side just based on how it's looking right now. So we're not looking the greatest here into an entry position. Now, if the stock was to bounce, break above the EMA line, typically the stock will have a pullback again. And if it does have a higher low, or if it bounces at the same price line, which is the trend line over here, then and only then will I be adding to my position. Now, having that said, about technicals, let's jump into some fundamentals. So actually, I just wanted to show, I don't know if I did, but here's the NASDAQ, how we've had a similar pullback. We can see the two charts very similar to each other. And this correlates to the whole NASDAQ future. SPY is an S&P 500. So we can see that SPY has also had a huge pullback, and the S&P 500 future is /ES, I believe. Yes, so it did have a nice pullback. It's trying to come back to the SMA line. Now, will it hold itself there? As far as I understand, the S&P 500 is a lot more diverse, and so their prices wouldn't change as much as compared to the Nasdaq. Now, having that said, I wanted to show everyone here a few pieces of news that I have found, and I will have to lower my camera just because it's pretty big right now. So, boom, right. So here we have a few things that have happening on news. So CNBC here, this is just a website that I'm on, but the Senate passes $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill, which is huge. People in the US are going to be getting their cash, their dough. We're here in Canada, but this is big news because this will directly affect the market. So this is big. This has been pushing for a long time. It's like, oh, just later, 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 later. But I think it was Friday, it was officially signed. Um, Either way, last week was officially signed. So now the money will be coming to people. That's great news. They will totally stimulate the market. Next piece of news that I wanted to show was Texas, the opening the state of Texas. What they have is there are no COVID-19 related operating limits for any business or establishment. So what I understood from this whole article is they will still try to encourage people to wear their masks. They will try to encourage people to still stay 2 meters away from each other. And but there are no operating limits for any business due to COVID. That's huge. One thing that can bring is that will bring lots of business that were affected by COVID an opportunity to gain back. And so this brings into my next point, which is the turnaround. Again, by CNBC.com. At the very top here, I believe I saw US stocks roared back from a sharp sell off on Friday as a rally in bond yields eased, while a stronger than expected job report boosted optimism for a faster recovery, economic recovery. And so, what it's looking like, stocks that would benefit from a rapid economic comeback jumped in the wake of job reports. The S&P 500 energy sector popped 3.9, posting its best day since November. Occidental Petroleum jumped 4.5, while Devon Energy rose 8.4. Financial materials rose more than 2% each. This is big. This is huge news. And so what we're seeing is we could be seeing a transition of money being shifted from the tech stocks, which were absolutely a cornerstone during the pandemic, back into some stocks that were directly affected by the pandemic. And there's a whole list of them. And so again, this is big. So people might have had all their money towards a certain industry, and it's now they're taking their money out to diversify more their portfolio because certain stocks that they love now have a chance to recover. And the last reason why we want to bring this up is the yield on 10-year treasury bonds. So this is what happened. The yield on the 10-year treasury bonds, which acts as a benchmark for global borrowing costs, climbed to nearly 1.5% at one point. I actually think it reached 1.6, but it later settled at 1.47 on this specific day. This is big because as the bond rate goes up, people's interest in bond become increasingly higher. I don't deal with that much money, so I really don't care much about bonds. But if you have a tons of money, millions, perhaps billions, and you want to have a little bit more secured way of making money, bonds have been one of those cornerstones that people have been going towards because that then will more or less guarantee them this percentage to get back on their money. Now, I wouldn't do it. And I personally don't like bonds, but again, this is something that the government sells, and major money and people that own a lot of stocks and money might be selling their stocks to put their money elsewhere. And so all of these news combined, all of these news combined can bring us to the market being sold off. So I am going to wait I'm going to wait for a good opportunity for me to be buying certain these stocks. I have a huge list of them. So there's NIO, there's Tesla, there is um, a whole whack of them. And there are certain ones, such as Zoom, that I might be considering not holding, because if the pandemic is indeed reaching a point of being over, being over, then these stocks that greatly benefit from the pandemic might have its pullback, might have its correction. And so anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this. And if you did, please leave a thumbs up and a subscribe. This has been amazing. I've been enjoying this whole YouTube experience. Again, I'm super new. Constructive criticism is appreciated. And so anyway, hope you guys enjoy this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.